call to order the regular meeting of November 4th, 2019. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
Stand back up, Bob.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Allen.
Here.
Darnell. DePalma.
Here.
Cordella.
Here.
Marshall. Rumble.
Here.
Thurman.
Here. Okay, at this time we need to approve our agenda. We've had a request to move the Friends of the Township Library up, but I know that there's other people here for some of the other items on our new business, so I don't know. Is anyone here to listen to our ordinance revisions? Yes, yes, okay. And I know Senior Center is here and CDBG's here.
Do you want to?
So to move them up, then we're gonna ask the other people to wait, so I don't know what everybody wants to do.
Can I request to have the CDBG one moved to the last? And then you can move them up.
That would be
Bob will
item
hang out
E.
with us.
That's item E to move
Is
down.
anyone else here for CDBG?
Just Bob.
Okay, so we can move that down to the end.
Want to swap them too?
Yeah. E and I, you wanna swap E and I?
That's
Okay.
fine.
Sure.
All right, we'll swap E and I. Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by clerk Allen to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, the agenda has been approved unanimously. So to begin our meeting tonight, and thank you everyone for coming tonight, we have two public hearings. The first public hearing is on our CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grant Program. The second public hearing is on our 2020 budget. So when we open those hearings, you're only allowed to speak to that particular topic. So the first hearing we have is Community Development Block Grant Program. So I need a motion from a board member to open the CDBG public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to open the CDBG public hearing. I need a roll call on that, please.
Allen.
Yes.
DePalma.
Yes.
Cordella.
Yes.
Rumble.
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. So now the public hearing for Community Development Block Grant is now open. If you would like to speak on that topic, please let me know, and then you can stand up to the podium and speak to us. Have 3 minutes. Yes. I kind of.
3 minutes?
You're going to open us up and close us out, huh?
Yeah. Thank you. Bob MacArthur, I'm chairman of the Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance. Just a little information about us. We are work with the circuit court underneath the family division. Our caseworker is Reagan Rockwell, who is assigned by the court system to handle the cases that are the ones that try to keep the young folks out of the misdemeanors at court. She does different programs with them, and in conjunction with the Oakland County Sheriff's Department and the liaison officer, they keep quite a few kids from going on into the system. I don't know the numbers, and we usually don't. That's some of that's privileged information, which we just nice to know that they don't end up going on to court with or getting something on their record. We have the four sponsors. We have Brandon Township, Village of Ortonville, Groveland Township, and Brandon schools. We get in-kind services from the library and Brandon Rec, both of those provide us with different methods of being able to do things with the kids. Some of the things, and I'll read down through the list of what we use the CDBG funds for. One of the big ones is Challenge Day. We do 100 high school students in a program that challenges them to talk about any issues or problems that they have. The kids walk out of there, probably the most common comment is that I didn't know that my friends or the other kids had the same problems that I have at home. And that's amazing. It's just sometimes, for some of us, it gets overwhelming of the things that go on there. We do skill building we do we scholarships for volleyball, golf, soccer, baseball, football, t-ball. We've done a couple of them for kids that on special request of pom-pom team and the cooking one. I just like a culinary class. We've done like 6 drivers training scholarships for students. Those are typically on a special request from either a counselor, the caseworker, the deputies, somebody in the school system. We just don't open it up for, it's an expensive item, but it's always kids that they feel are of a need for something positive to happen in their life. And so we provide that. We do Love and Logic at the library. We did 37 families this year. 13 of the families were sent to Myers and bought brand new shoes for their kids that start school. And that was a donation from the Eastern Stars. We do a child abuse prevention, autism awareness. We did a summer tutoring program at the elementary, and we did one at the high school. And we also did a credit recovery at the high school, which was, I think, 3 students that probably wasn't going to make it. And we paid for the credit recovery classes that they needed to attend. We just did a Safe Talk program, which is on suicide prevention. We have 2 more coming up, and internet safety, and you'll see that shortly in the paper, and we hope. And we did summer camp at Camp Copenhagen, our regular one, and we did a 6th grade camp. We did 14 kids that were not going to go to summer camp through the 6th grade. And we were able to provide that to the middle school. You're aware of our youth recognition. We do 120 students there. We provide emergency cards for every student in high school and middle school. It's about 1,500 cards, and it indicates all of the emergency 24-hour numbers for issues, bullying, suicide thoughts, pregnancy, kids that are in trouble with something and don't know where to go to get some answers. And with that, I appreciate that the township has provided us with CDBG funds for quite a few years, and to the work of the clerks, same way with the village. And it's the only thing that makes that possible, because it's a lot of work on our part. They require an awful lot of paperwork out of us, but then they turn around and they have the same problem to get it back out of the county. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on the CDBG program this evening? Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Glover, Brandon Substation Commander. I want to support Bob on this. It's a huge program. Our goal with the school resource officer is to keep these high school kids from a criminal record, if at all possible. It's not always possible, but most of the time we're pretty successful at it. And you talk about the sponsors and any time that they're helping a kid get through driver's training that does not have that opportunity because they can't afford it, or they have the opportunity to play a school sport that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. I mean, the difference that makes in those kids' lives are huge. So they do a lot of work. It's nonstop. So I definitely want to support Bob in that. Good.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on the CDBG program tonight? Okay, seeing none, we need to close our public hearing. So if someone would like to make a motion to close the CDBG public hearing, I'll entertain that.
So moved.
I'll support.
Can we ask as trustees or
Nope,
any questions?
nope. Not during a public hearing, no.
If you would like to
I know.
speak during the public hearing, you could go up there and speak, but,
We're gonna discuss it down here.
yeah,
Well-
yeah, we'll be discussing it later.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll be discussing it later.
Down here on E,
Okay.
which we moved to I.
Okay. This was very simple questions, but, okay, very good.
Okay. So I have a motion by trustee Rumble and is seconded by clerk Allen to close the public hearing on Community Development Block Grant Program. So we also need to do a roll call on that.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Now we're going to open up the public hearing for our 2020 budget, proposed budget. So if anyone would like to speak to that, we need to open that public hearing. So who would like to make a motion to open that?
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing on the 2020 budget.
I'll support it.
Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to open the public hearing on the 2020 budget. And we need to do a roll call.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak to our proposed 2020 budget? Okay, this will be a quick one. So seeing no one, we can entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the 2020
I'll make a
budget.
motion to close the public hearing on 2020 budget.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Cordella to close the public hearing on the proposed 2020 budget. And let's do a roll call, please.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. The public hearing on the 2020 budget is now closed. And that brings us to reports. This evening, we have our monthly treasury report, our general ledger report with our designated report, our reconciliation report, the building department report, and the new bills are down from last year, but the amount of revenue coming in is up from last year on the new bills.
Did you raise
That's-
the fees?
No, it's because we have commercial, it's
Gotcha.
that
Type of fees
it's
are
building,
different.
different types of
More
fees.
expensive fees than normal.
Right. Okay, we also have a recreation report, at Edna Burton Senior Center report, a CDBG report, and that brings us to trustees' reports tonight. Jason, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I just want to say my family and I had a great Halloween in town here this past week. Good luck to all the hunters coming up on the 15th, and hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Okay, thank you. Dana?
None of my subcommittees met, so I don't have much, I don't have anything from the township side, but personal side, like to second Halloween. Family had a great time, even though it was wet and cold, and we all survived, and kids had fun, and everyone have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Trustee Cordella?
I'm not young enough to go trick-or-treating, so I didn't partake in that. I don't have no children. I have no grandchildren, so can't say happy Halloween or it was a great Halloween, but I'm sure it was. The second point is more importantly is there was a planning commission meeting regarding the second storage facility that's going off of M15, and it was a very, very involved meeting. The planning commission had a lot of questions, had a lot of give back to the people that are building it, that have already started building it. If you guys look over to the right of that one building there,
By McPhee's.
yeah, it's just a little bit north of there. You can see that they've already clearing land, they're doing all kinds of stuff. But the bottom line is they were asking for some things that just were outside of our ordinances, and we basically called them out on every one of them. And they need to come back to us with a, proposal basically that they have to redo their entire proposal, bottom line, because what they wanted and then what they proposed were two different things. This hearing. So the bottom line is it's a little bit of a delay for them, not much. I think we're going to have a planning commission meeting maybe next week, Tuesday. I think that's what we're shooting for. That's what the deal is, and that's what we're at. And we're still trying to go full speed ahead with that. Once again, no new news about Taco Bell. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Can we ask him a question? Can we ask him a question?
Sure.
About did you guys discuss regarding the
Animal
animal ordinance? Yes.
Yes, we did. That was very spirited, too. Everyone on the planning commission was incredibly favorable toward allowing people to have animals in the township. I'm not sure how far the wording of the ordinance is going to go, but there was absolutely unanimous support for allowing just about everything, except for having 3,000 cattle on 5 acres of land or something like that. So that's where we're at, and we are going to have another reading, and we are going to come together with ordinances on that. Yes, that was a good question, Dana. Thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot about that end of the business, but yes, that is being favorably viewed by the planning commission.
Okay, thank you. Our treasurer is absent tonight, so clerk's report.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. I'd like to remind you that tomorrow is Election Day from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. There's only one item on the ballot, so it won't take long to fill in one rectangle, and out the door you go. Next Monday is Veterans Day. Make sure you hug a veteran, and our building will be closed for that day. And please have a happy Thanksgiving. Sorry for my voice.
Okay, thank you. As far as the supervisors report, I would like to thank the village of Ortonville and the school and everybody that provided any type of Halloween activity for the kids this year. It was a very nice event. So it's too bad the weather didn't cooperate more on Halloween, but the kids all had options. Even our church provided something, so there was all kinds of activities for the kids. So thank you for everyone who participated in those. The Sashabaw Road paving is completed, so take a look at that.
Completely completed?
Yes.
So we're not going to have any work done?
Well, I don't know if in the
Next year?
spring, they might do a little bit of restoration off the
Seeding?
sides. Yeah, but for the most part, the road is open. It looks good.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds great.
All right, the new generator for the building has been installed and it's up and running. I thought we were going to be testing it out Friday when I lost power at my house, but we didn't lose power here, so we didn't test it out yet. I received specs for replacing the bricks in the windows on the township office building, but because it's getting into the cold season now, I'm going to hold off for a couple months before sending out the RFP so that we can get that done early spring. We have a new part-time employee that started in the recreation office today as a temporary employee, and if that person works out, they will be bringing it to the board to vote on her as being a permanent part-time. And Fred and our engineers, HRC, are working on getting the grant reimbursements going as an update. And I also wanted to say that I'm wearing an orange ribbon today to help raise awareness for complex regional pain syndrome, as November is CRPS Awareness Month. It's a terrible and incurable disease. And if anyone's interested in information about it, I have some on the back table, and we have some in our office. So please stop in if you'd like to and learn more about that. And also I wanted to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. So that concludes the Supervisors Report. And we'll move on to correspondence. We have Planning Commission meeting minutes of June 25th, 2019, and the Road Commission for Oakland County bridge loading posting. So at this time, we will take citizens' comments on agenda items only. During citizens' comments, we ask that you stand at the podium and direct your comments to the board. We will be happy to answer any questions at the end of the meeting. Please state your name, and although it's not required, we also ask that you state the city, township, or village in which you live. Comments shall be courteous and limited to 3 minutes per speaker. So this is on agenda items. Would anyone like to speak to an agenda? Yes. Yes, yes, sir.
Lived here 16 years and haven't been here yet. So my name is Brian Malash. I live on 63 East Glass. I've been there 16 years. Just background on me, I'm a full-time firefighter for the city of Dearborn for 17 years. Prior to that, I worked for 7 years at the City of Clarkson Department of Public Works, leaving there as the acting director. I happened to catch in the Citizen regarding the new sidewalk proposal for maintenance and clearing and stuff. Well, I really appreciate residents having to be responsible for clearing so citizens can safely use their sidewalk. I walked today on East Glass. The sidewalk's in such shambles, it's impossible for residents to maintain that. On my walk, trying to keep it brief, lifts over 1 inch where they're heave. Anything over an inch is a trip hazard. There's 35 lifts over an inch. This is in less than a half mile. 3 lifts over 2 inches. There's 1 lift over 3. Then major heaves and lifts that are over 6 inches. There's a total of 3. Slabs are full thickness crack, and all the way across, there's 37 of them. Those are cracked due to heave. They're going to heave more. Disintegrated slabs and pulverized, unusable, really rough surfaces. There's 4 of those. Slabs average anywhere from about 6 to 10 feet, depending on how they poured them. Low areas with pooling where there's not drainage that's appropriate or easy to get to. There's 4 of them, and all of those are over 12 feet long. A resident can't clear those once those are ice. Also, there's not continuous sidewalk where residents in the past, long time ago, most of it, it was removed in asphalt. That asphalt's so rough that's not maintainable for safety. There's a sinkhole, a large sinkhole, that has severe cracking, enough you'd easily break an ankle. Total in that half mile, there's 92 repairs that are needed, which are major safety concerns, which equals to approximately 726 feet out of less than 2,800 feet. That's how much damage there is. And that involves at least 28 addresses. A large portion of that is the county section the Water Resource Commission has that's overgrown. Theirs is bad. They have about 4 of their huge trees have to be removed so residents could even repair a sidewalk at a substantial cost. And it's just very unfeasible for a lot of residents. I'm in good shape. When Oakland County did the road, they replaced some of mine. However, they pitched the road, I get a pool. I can't drain it. It will be ice this winter. It is every year. A lot of our residents are lower income and retirees. To burden them with 65 feet of sidewalk to replace is just unacceptable to me. If it was placed in good condition and working order and appropriate, that would be a lot easier request to shovel. I do my neighbors. I do like 3 of my neighbors. That's great. One of them I can barely do with my four-wheeler because it goes around a tree and it's all. And there's just several other major issues where the sidewalk ends before 25 feet before M15. It goes absolutely nowhere, then doesn't continue north or south. There's zero sidewalk where it used to be the old Bell Ann Elementary School is now private property. The sidewalks ended there and used to go in. That's private property, and there's nothing there. It picks up again just in the middle of a driveway on the south side and runs now. There's no crosswalks. There's no sidewalk in Viola. There's also a 7-foot section missing where it was just never done there. It's grass. There's several of those. I'm sure I'll run out of time, but there's also zero crossings for like Michael Street. These were subdivisions that were, I'm sure, in 1985 is the last update I could see on sidewalks. We're done for those neighborhoods. They don't even have accessibility. It's a ditch to even get on the sidewalk, and that's on county's property. Then the sidewalk ends at Lake Point. We left off, whatever that was in 1985, we left off the last about 14 houses. So it's that's all I want to bring attention to. It's in shambles, and to think anybody can ever clear that to a safe level is it just cannot happen. I would rather see the township, if they want that, repair the sidewalks than ask for residents to maintain them, or remove the sidewalks. There's no longer a need. Those were put in for that school, and they go nowhere. So I guess that's all I had to say. I just wanted to let that know that it's a disaster. And I don't know about M15. I couldn't walk that. The safety paths there, they're concrete newer. They look decent. They won't last long because they should have been done in asphalt, but that's a whole nother thing. So thank you for the time, though.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment on an agenda item today? Okay, seeing none, that will conclude our citizens' comments on agenda items, and we'll move to our discussion item. We have one, which is our 2020 No-Haz program. So we participated in the hazardous waste program that the county has this year, and we had a total of 151 loads dropped off during the course of the summer and I think early fall, late spring. Our estimated participation cost this year is $5,831 after we collected $10 per load. So that was subtracted from the cost, and it comes down to $5,831. So the county is wanting to know where we stand for next year. Do we want to participate again next year? Do we want to do every other year? Do we want to not participate? So I'm trying to look for some board input so I can respond back to the county.
How much is it if they pay for it themselves?
$60.
$60.
Oh, sorry.
Which, if we had 151 loads,
So we're paying
Way more.
$38.60 a load.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
After the discount of what we collected.
I gotcha, yep. But next year, our estimated cost is $8,920.
But that's estimating that there'll be more loads.
Gotcha.
That only saves $2.50 if we did it at that load rate. It's $2.50 per load. If we still had 115 and paid that much. I don't know, maybe we should do it like every other year. So they still have an opportunity to do it at least.
Yeah, well, we hadn't done it, what did I put?
Since
Since
08.
2008.
So it's 11
So,
years,
yeah.
or 10
This
years,
year
we
was the
didn't do
first
it.
year since 2008?
Yes. We were trying to cut costs, so that was one thing that we cut. So
It-
we brought it back last
It
year.
was this year. We did do it last year?
This year, no, we did it in 2019.
Right, that's this year?
Yeah, this year.
We had 3% participation, basically.
Mm.
The chart says 4.1%, but yeah, it's pretty minimal.
No, that's percent of population, percent of participation.
Oh, sorry, yep. Yeah, 3%.
I think our goal would be to get the hazardous waste out of the township. If we did every other year, I think we should let the residents know that that's what our intentions are, so they could be saving their hazardous waste so that when we do participate,
Well, they could do it without us in the off years,
and they could,
so they could still do it every year.
so.
So if they do it on their own, it's $60 to get rid of their waste,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, yep.
And if we do it, we spent last year 5,800 to do 151 loads, is that?
So we spent $40 a car. And they paid 10, so really by us
That's
doing
what I was
it,
gonna
so
say,
that-
does that
saving
include, does that include the
$10.
$10 or
Well,
no?
okay.
That's what I
so
was trying to figure
That
out.
equals like 50, but the price is going up next year. That's why it went up to 60. So I think this year they were charging people $50 a load that weren't
I
participating.
gotcha.
Right, but so we
But
spent
their
50.
costs are gonna go up next year.
Our estimated participation cost is $58.31. After
For this-
$10.
For 2019.
Right, so we spent $58.31, and then each of those participants spent $10, is that correct? So 151 loads times 10
7,000 and something is the total.
plus 58.31 is 73.41.
Mhm.
Divide by the 151, it's, yeah, it's $49, so they saved $11.
Over next year, but the cost was less this year. The costs are gonna go up next year.
Right, so is it gonna be worth it, or would it be cheaper to have them pay, if next year it's gonna be $89.20 plus the $10 a load, is it going to be really cheaper than the $60? 151 times
Well, and it says
10
we're gonna raise the fee to
plus
15,
89.20.
So those are all the questions we need to
I'm
discuss,
wondering if it's,
so.
well, what I'm trying to figure out, is it cheaper for them to pay 60 a load or for us to spend all the money? I mean, yes, that's coming out of that one person.
Well, for them,
account,
it's
but-
gonna be cheaper if we participate because their cost will be less.
Correct, but at the same time, we're spending more money that's not going towards all the residents, and it's all the
And
taxpayers'
it's going
money.
towards 3% of our
Right.
population.
Right.
Well, so what would we like to do?
I don't want to engage in this program next year. Take a year off.
I'm fine with that.
And I know you had a hard
That's what
time
I'd like.
finding workers, Kathy, because
I
some of us
did.
were, I mean, I had a wedding two times. I had
Well,
weddings,
I-
each out
yeah.
of dates.
And-
What did that cost us? Because you
Right.
did have to pay.
Right, we had to pay
And
someone to do it.
I do want to thank Jay, who helped us, and Scott, who helped us. Just residents came and volunteered.
No,
But-
you paid an
and-
employee.
And I paid an employee.
So that.
And then I had other residents, well, then I volunteered for a couple.
Yeah.
But I think going forward, other communities are actually paying like a stipend for people to go out there and help, like $100.
So then you have
we
that
might want
cost.
to consider that for future too.
Right, but then you have that cost on top of it, so is it, we're spending more than what we would be if the residents just did it
So
themselves?
it seems like we don't want to participate next year. Is that how everybody feels?
I just got a quick question here. What are we what are we finding out of the 151 loads? What was it?
There's a page that tells you
Oh, actually, it's not. I thought it was too. but-
other costs. Oh, maybe I don't.
It's on the back, no, that's just
No.
places participating too.
Front.
You handed it to us before, though. I have seen that, but.
What? Okay.
I thought I
It's like
included it,
batteries,
but I
tires,
didn't.
paint.
There's electronics, there's like oil-based paints.
Yep.
Batteries.
Yeah,
Just
batteries, paint thinner, just,
Things you should not put in your roadside garbage.
right,
So typically piles up in your basement or in your garage.
Yep.
yep.
Do they take tires?
Okay.
No.
Isn't that an extra
That's-
fee though, if they
that's-
have tires?
I think so.
it is.
Tires there.
Sure,
Yeah,
I
tires
don't
are always
remember
more.
seeing tires come
They
through.
might not.
They don't?
Yeah, as I say, they don't take tires.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
go to a tire place and pay
We,
for them
we
to
take
out.
tires that are,
Cleanup
regular
days.
cleanup days, yeah.
That's right.
For a fee,
That's what it is. I knew there was a fee with tires somewhere.
yeah. So do we want to do this every other year?
I don't know. how
I'd
far
say we
go.
revisit, I say we
I say we
revisit.
discuss it, bring it back next year.
Right, like next year when they ask
So
us,
we
we
don't want to
revisit.
commit at this point?
No,
Correct.
I don't want to.
Okay, so the motion is?
It doesn't stop,
We're
even
not-
if we
We
don't,
don't have emotions.
even if we don't commit, it doesn't stop our residents for going, correct?
Right.
Correct.
Right, so we can still advertise for it for the residents to go if they'd like to go and tell them what their
Well,
fee
this
would be.
is a really good program that the county is doing, and I think if we could let them know that we're supportive and we want to do it every other year, I think that would go a ways as far as them continuing the program.
Tell the county to pay for it.
Well, they are contributing to
Tell them
it.
to pay for all of it, that they want it that bad.
I also think the full
Well,
board
if-
should be
if-
here.
If they don't, then we end up with hazardous waste all over our township, and I don't think that's what we want.
I'm sure people know how to dispose of that stuff. If only
I'd
3%
like to
of
see
our
our whole- our
population
full
is using
board
it,
here
I don't
to
think it's
discuss
making
it.
that big of a difference. Personally, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
But I'm fine if we want to just say no for next year.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any other discussion on that item? I will let them know. Okay, so now we can move on to our consent agenda. Tonight, we have regular meeting minutes of October 7th, 2019, special meeting minutes of October 21st, 2019, regular bills in the amount of $37,105.24, prepays in the amount of $387,220.46, Township benefits from payroll account of $30,924.35. Trustees timesheets in the amount of $1,122. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Cordella, and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to approve the consent agenda as presented. And we'll need a roll call for that, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes,
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. And we have one item of unfinished business, and that would be the cable coordinator contract. And our cable coordinator is here this evening. And this contract is a 2-year contract, and it has a 2% increase for each year. And we already looked at it at our last meeting. Does anyone have any questions? And we also are going to be approving our budget tonight, and I know that you had talked about going wireless, so maybe you could fill us in on what that will take.
Yeah, the blue box we record with was put together 8 years ago. It has technology from 8 years ago. We've just now got it back up to speed. We couldn't find a power box for it because the company that made the power boxes went out of business. So we're back to a regular standard definition signal. The reason we do the standard definition signal is that that's what Charter allows for cable stations, us, Oxford, everybody else. We would like to go wireless. And the reason we've stayed away from wireless at this point is up until recently, last year, if you had it, you couldn't go through the wall. It looked like a broadcast from Beirut. It just did not look very good. The technology has now come to a point where it's much better. So all the wires and all the tape that you see on the ground would be eliminated, and it would just simply be wireless like anything else. The upside to it would allow us to do things like go to football games with 1 or 2 or 3 cameras, would allow us to travel a little bit more, because right now everything is plug in, and you can only go as far as the fishing rod will allow you to go. And so it would give us an opportunity to just take the next step up. And then the second part of it is it would also allow us to do all of our programming in 1080i. Tonight, when we go back to the blue box, it's back to a standard definition. You got great sound, but you don't have it. And we're picking up numbers on YouTube that the numbers are, a lot more people are watching. I had the girls volleyball team call me Friday and were complaining because I hadn't got Thursday's game up yet. So apparently they're actually watching, which is kind of a cool thing. And we know by numbers, because you can see it on YouTube. We have no idea how to tell what the station's being watched on actual television, because there's no way, we don't have a Nielsen rating from that standpoint. So it kind of gives us that next step. And then after wireless, there really isn't much else. I know you guys, we talked about the price of being somewhere in the 65 to 70, 75,000 range. It's probably going to be much closer to 40. What I am doing right now is getting quotes that I'll make sure you guys have before we actually go ahead and do that after the first of the year, so we know exactly what we're doing. And again, there's different prices for different things, and what do we want to get to add to it so we don't have to add to it later? And something as simple as a teleprompter for a camera that size would be very simple, so that you could use them in a way that you don't have to have a teleprompter on the old cameras. We have 3 cameras that we still have from the high school that we bought in 1976. They're great boat anchors. They're not much else other than that. And I actually put one of them online.
That's putting it nicely.
I actually put one online just to see what reaction we'd get. And there was a guy in Troy who told me that for $300, if I paid him $300, he would be more than happy to take the camera.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of stuff, because of the changing in technology, it's just obsolete. So it's just the next step in what we're trying to do.
Would it help with the sound? Because I have heard that sometimes at these meetings, when people go to watch them, they can't hear as well.
Right.
Can we do
We're
more
back
about
on the
sound?
sound system you have now. We haven't been for 3 months because we didn't have the power cord to run the blue box.
Okay.
So if turn it up in the back, okay? Ella, turn it up. The speaker up, Ella, on top of the box. You guys can hear me? Hear that back there? So we're finally back to the sound system. And the only reason we haven't used it, we haven't used regular cameras, was because we couldn't find the power box. We had to order it special.
Okay.
It took us 90 days to get it. Now we're back to normal where we should be.
Okay.
So there won't be any more sound issues.
I just knew there was an issue
Yep,
there.
there isn't anymore.
Okay, when you say wireless, exactly what are we talking about here?
All the cameras would be outfitted with a box on the top of them. They would translate a Bluetooth signal to the box in the back. So all of the stuff,
You're talking Bluetooth then?
yeah, all the signals, all these wires you see wouldn't be in place,
Yeah,
and
right.
all the duct tape and all the other stuff.
So,
It's like talking out
Yep.
from your cell phone.
Turn it on over there, it'll send a signal to the blue box. I'll be able to see the same picture I'm seeing off of that camera by wire. It would not be wireless.
so would the sound still go through
Yep,
microphones?
same thing. Same thing, wouldn't change from that standpoint. The upside to it, it would give us better camera positions, which means we could get closer. We change the camera position tonight to try and change a different angle from that standpoint. The room lends itself to being somewhat difficult because of the low ceilings and kind of the way it sets up. The system you have in place, the microphone system you have in place, is the most expensive system that they make. They don't make anything more expensive than that. They just have to work. So from that standpoint,
So to go Bluetooth, you do need some sort of a generator box, if you will.
it's phantom power, and that comes out of the box that they would come from. That we would the motor
In the area, I mean.
Yeah.
Somewhere
would be
within.
it would be in the next room.
Right. Now, if you go like to a sporting event,
It's built into the It's built into this production box. So once we plug in, it's all in the box. If you walk in the other room, you'll see we have a production box that we use. The upside to it,
the production box is over here?
Yes.
And we'll keep it here?
we can also move it around. It's portable.
Okay, that's all I'm getting.
Yeah. No matter where we go, we can
'Cause I
use
know
it.
Bluetooth is relative to you having a device that's Bluetooth
Right, and that's
capable.
built into the box.
Yeah.
We're just updating a box that's 8 years old to new
Good enough.
technology.
Good enough. Thanks. That's a great way to go. I'm all in favor of that.
Okay, does anybody have any questions regarding the contract? All right, would someone like to make the motion as suggested?
I'll make that motion. Do I need to read it?
Second.
No.
Okay.
I'll read it. I have to reread it anyways.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Cordella to approve the 2020 through 2021 consulting agreement with Mr. Greg Norman for operation of the Ortonville Community Broadcast Station according to the terms of the agreement as presented and upon receipt of the fully executed documents. Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Greg. Okay, now we can move on to our new business. Our first item is revision to the fireworks ordinance, first reading. What we have in front of you is a revision so we're matching the state law. The state changed the law for fireworks and when it's allowed. And so this ordinance is just going to mirror the state law.
All right, you gotta spell peace right on the first page, though.
Article 5.
Oh. It says public
Yeah,
peas.
because Scott already caught that.
Okay.
Any questions on this? Would someone like to make the suggested motion?
So moved.
I'll support.
What was the change?
Where was that P's,
It's
Jason?
in
It's
the,
in the preamble.
It's right on the preamble.
it's in the
Oh,
fourth
okay.
line.
Bolded spot.
Oh, there,
Line,
okay, I
yeah.
got
What should it be?
Yeah, it should have been
Peace.
changed.
Peace.
Oh,
And-
like P-I-E-C?
No,
P-E-A-C-E.
yeah.
Oh, peace.
like
Oh,
this.
that's a good thing.
So I'll make sure that gets corrected.
Yep.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee DePalma to introduce for first reading an amendment to chapter, it should be and, not and. An amendment to chapter 28, article 5, section 28-230 to remove and replace the existing section with the attached ordinances, as attached, into the Code of Ordinances, Charter Township of Brandon, Oakland County, Michigan. Any discussion on the motion?
No.
Okay, roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Our second item is revision to the definitions of offenses ordinance, second reading.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to adopt for second reading an amendment to Chapter 28, Section 1, Amendment to Chapter 28 Offenses, Article 1, in general, Section 28-2, Definitions of the Code of Ordinances, Charter Township of Brandon, and replace with the attached ordinance into the Code of Ordinances, Charter Township of Brandon, Oakland County, Michigan. And just for everyone out there, this is just to update our definitions in this ordinance. Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Next is the sidewalk maintenance ordinance, and this is second reading. This was introduced at our last meeting. There has been a change in that is as far as following up if there are violations, how we will handle the violations, and it's allowing us to put a lien on the property if it should come to that.
I can say I voted no to start with on this because I didn't think there was enough notice about it, and we just were given it the week before the meeting about the sidewalks, and then it went through first reading fine, and then it hit the newspaper, and then the residents found out about it. And I appreciate all your research that you've done, sir, because that was part of my concern, because I knew the sidewalks were really old. I have no problem with saying, hey, you need to maintain them, you need to clear them, they need to be passable. But if these are falling apart and you expect the residents to fix these sidewalks, I just not sure I agree with that. I know a lot of that area is low income or seniors, and I feel that more research needed to be done on this, and the residents should have had more of a chance to know that this was happening. And so my vote is still no on this. I think we didn't do enough due diligence.
What kind of research are you looking for?
Well, what's the cost? What is this actually going to cost if?
Costs, like if we were to replace all the sidewalks?
Well, that, or just have them removed, or what is going to happen? Because it sounds like so many of these sidewalks already need repair. So we want to put in this ordinance now, and then we're going to start going out to the residents and saying, hey, all of a sudden now you have to fix these sidewalks? That aren't
agree with
even,
you,
I mean,
Dana.
I just think.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
And CDBG funds put those sidewalks in. It wasn't a burden on the township, and the township's never done anything to maintain them, which I think is incorrect. You know, it's great that we get our federal dollars for the community, but it's just like anything we use those funds for, we have to maintain. It's a gift, is what I look at it when we're awarded those monies.
I mean, I agree with the different sidewalks that are going in that the businesses are putting in now and stuff. I just think there's a difference between these sidewalks that were put back in, I don't know, back before the
85,
80s then,
yeah.
and nothing's been done to maintain them. And I know it's different when I grew up in Troy and we had a sidewalk in front of our house and we had to maintain it and stuff, but that came with the property. I just think it's a total different situation, and the new businesses that are coming that are being required to put it in, then yes, they need to maintain it. These houses never were maintained to start with, so now you want to put in an ordinance, and then you're going to automatically tell them, hey, now you need to fix it?
Well, I'm gonna go a step further, and I like the gentleman's comment that they were mainly put in place to support the school that's there.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then I think and I'm just gonna say this like right now, even though we're not gonna vote on it now, but I'm all in favor of taking him out completely and just being done with this whole situation. Because this is a nightmare. I mean, this is gonna be an ongoing fix it and then ongoing upkeep and on it goes, and it's gonna be very costly, incredibly costly.
I've witnessed that the residents don't even walk on the sidewalk, they walk in the road, in the street,
Yep.
as
Yeah,
their sidewalk,
Yep,
because it's
I
not safe.
I agree with that.
And I've actually seen that
I've
several
seen it too.
times.
I've done it myself when I've walked around that area.
Okay, so the board would like to have costs on removal of the sidewalks and also costs to repair the sidewalks.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't take any action on this till we decide what we're doing with that sidewalk.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, you can put this in place for all the other sidewalks that are good and serviceable, but those clearly aren't. And the
That's-
residents shouldn't bear that burden
That's, to my
to
knowledge,
repair our sidewalk that we put in.
It was a nice study, by the way, that the gentleman did. You know, I guess if you happen to nail it with regards to 726 feet versus a total of 2,800 feet or so, do you happen to have that information that you can forward to this office of the supervisor?
Right.
Yeah, I think We would like to have that information. You know, if you've already done the work.
I have another resident that was looking at the sidewalks too, but they didn't come up with as many repairs as you did, so.
I work for the Department of Public Works, and we had to do all the sidewalk replacements and residents.
Oh, well, then maybe you can provide quotes too.
Not anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Well, if you can forward that, I think, you know, Kathy, I guess
Well,
you know,
I'll tell you right now, it's gonna be way cheaper to take them out than it is to replace them.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure, that's
Concrete
expensive.
is expensive.
But I would like to just see the actual numbers and, you know, just have it, you know.
Okay, so we want to postpone
important
this
stuff.
until we
Yeah, I
make
don't
a
think we-
decision.
Until we know what we're doing, or exempt that from it, exempt the Bellingham one from it. But
Yeah.
then that's just gonna piss people off, so don't do that.
Yeah.
Just wait till you figure out what you're gonna do with the other one.
Yeah.
I think we should get a lot more information.
I just,
I
you
mean,
know,
all
I
of
mean,
our
you know,
others, all
you
of our
know,
other sidewalks are fine.
you know, 25% of
The
the
quotes.
sidewalk is bad, and to put this ordinance into place on the citizens like that, I just don't think is fair to do.
No. And these are the only sidewalks that the township actually has.
Besides the ones on
safety
15.
path.
Yeah, besides the safety path
Yeah.
on 15.
Well, the village ones, but
But
those
the villages are
Those
the
are-
villages.
yeah.
Those,
They're in the
yeah.
township,
But
but I
it's
hear
the
what you're saying.
village.
Yeah,
Not our
that's the village.
responsibility. Yay.
And the trailer park ones aren't our responsibility either,
No.
so,
Nope.
Trailer park's the trailer park.
right.
Okay, how does this sound? To postpone this item until we have more information on the cost of removing or repairing the east glass sidewalks.
Is it just East Glass? Because he was naming different roads, so it's not just off of Glass. There's Viola, there's like,
That's glass.
No, it just crosses, it's just
only
an
on
east
east
glass.
glass.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought you said there was something on Viola,
It
where it crosses Viola. Okay, okay,
There's no painted line across the street.
gotcha.
Okay. Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Who would like to make that motion?
I'll make it.
I will.
there you go.
Second.
She beat you,
I know she did.
Chris.
Second.
Oh, okay.
He wants that one.
Darn right I do.
Yeah.
I like that work that gentleman did.
All right, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Cordella to postpone this item until we have more information on the costs of removing or repairing the east glass sidewalks. Good?
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Seeing none, roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. So next is our Senior Center Service Employment Program, and we have our Senior Center Coordinator here tonight.
And she's so happy.
So this program was brought to our attention by our Senior Center Coordinator, and it looks like a really good program where through Michigan Works, we can have an employee that they will pay for 3 years, 4 years,
Up to 4 years.
up to 4 years.
It says it right there.
Okay.
So
18 hours a week.
up to, yes, 19 hours a week.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
anything that needs to be done, any hours, like if we have an activity on Saturday, as long as we, go over their schedule with them and say, hey, this is what we need. The person that this Teresa, who is the head of it, has in mind, she thinks that they may have a chauffeur's license, which at this point would be a real godsend for us.
Fill in on the bus if needed.
Yes, but if she doesn't, Teresa even said that they would assist her in getting a chauffeur's license.
Excellent.
We do have a meeting scheduled with Candy and Kathy and myself and Teresa on Tuesday the 12th for her to come to the senior center and present the whole program. You have copies of all kinds of flyers that she has sent me, and also the copy of the contract that Kathy would sign. It's actually a win-win situation. And if the person doesn't work out, then they will find another one. And it's actually just, it's people that want to work, but they don't have jobs. And this, I know it looks a little deceiving because it says Macomb, St. Clair County, but the woman, Teresa, also is in charge of Oakland County.
Well, I'll make that motion to approve the worksite agreement between Brandon Township, Edna Burton Senior Center, and the Macomb St. Clair Workforce Development Board from November, December 2018 through November, December 2023 as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, we're bringing this to the board because even though we're not expending funds for this, it still involves us entering into a contract, so
Right.
the board has to approve the
And
contract.
they pay them directly? Like, they don't pay us and we pay the employee, so they're
No.
totally an employee of them, all that type of stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing that we would be responsible, the township would be responsible if the person was a driver, they would have to be on the vehicle insurance, which is an automatic. You know, it wouldn't matter who.
Does it matter that the driver is not our employee
No.
for insurance purposes?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll find that out.
We'd have to
Okay.
work that out.
That would
We'll
be my
find
only
that out.
question.
Michigan Works has provided another employee for us. Kara Titus came to us through Michigan Works originally, so good program.
Kara? Really? How long has she been with us?
5 years, last April.
She's good.
Yep.
I like her.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to approve the work site agreement between Brandon Township, Edna Burton Senior Center, and the Macomb St. Clair Workforce Development Board from November, December 2019 through November, December of 2023 as presented. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion's approved unanimously, and you're all set, and I hope your cold gets better.
Thank you.
Thanks, Faye.
Yeah, thanks.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to, do Friends of the Brandon Township Library resolution for charitable gaming license. Is someone here from the library?
Is there some paperwork in the back here?
It's just
It's the very last.
very
Oh, I
last
see.
page.
Very good. Thank you.
Friends of the Library does nothing more than get funds to give to the library. Our mission is to support the library through special activities, fundraising, and acquisition of library materials. In the past, we have provided workers for 3 evenings at a poker club in Waterford, and we're proposing to do that
I
again.
did that.
Okay.
I helped.
Our paperwork is too old, so we have to reapply with the Gaming Commission, and the object of the whole application is to prove we really are nonprofit. So we'll be giving them financial records, checks, book registers, all that. The form in front of you tonight is asking the township to recognize Friends of the Library as a for-real group who operates here, with their purpose being to raise funds to give to the library. So this is one of the forms we need to submit to the Gaming Commission in order to get our members approved to handle that poker night.
So the Friends of the Brandon Township Library has their own 501c3 separate?
We are not a 501c3.
Okay, you're not a 501c3.
No, but we definitely are nonprofit. For example, we're doing poinsettia sales right now. That money goes directly to the library, and they keep track of what we bring to them as their fundraisers. And at the time that the library may need something, they come to us with a form, and they say what they would like, how much it costs, And then our group gives them authorization to, in essence, cut themselves a check.
Okay. So you're a nonprofit, but you're not a nonprofit that people could write off when they donate to you guys, because you're not a 501c3, correct?
I can't answer that for sure for you.
We're a nonprofit, you can write it off.
You're a nonprofit. You're a 501,
See,
But yeah.
but not a C3, okay. Okay.
What's the name of the organization?
Friends of the Library,
Oh, okay.
Of the Brandon Township Library.
of the branded,
Yeah.
yes, thank you.
And I spoke to the library director today, and she wanted to make sure that everyone knew that there was not going to be gambling at the library, that this fundraising was going to take
Darn.
place off-site.
Yeah.
And I
We'd
don't-
be
I'm
glad to
not-
provide you with the address and the dates that our fundraiser will be.
Okay, you got my name right there.
And
So
do you
please.
know where this is going to take place?
It's down in Waterford.
In
It used
Waterford?
to be called the Sharks Club.
Okay.
I believe it operates under a different name today. They have a gaming license too for the facility.
Oh, they've changed.
down near the
ownership.
airport.
Oh,
Yes.
on 15.
That's a huge place, by the
Yeah.
way. Sharks Club, yeah.
Okay. Okay, would someone like to make a motion to approve the local governing body resolution for charitable gaming licenses for the Friends of the Library,
Friends of the Brandon
of the
Town.
Brandon Township Library?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen and it is seconded by Trustee Cordella to approve the local governing body resolution for charitable gaming licenses for Friends of the Brandon Township Library. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda is the publicly, wait. no.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah,
Yep,
you're right.
Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act.
I'll make the
Pub-
motion.
Okay. That we do every year.
Yep.
I'll support it.
Okay, this is just allowing the township to pay for our own health care and not follow the regulations set forth by the state. So I have a motion by trustee Rumble and it is seconded by trustee DePalma to opt out of the Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, PA 152 of 2011 for 2020. And if there's no discussion, we will do a voice vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next are the employee wage increases. And hopefully everybody's had a chance to look through those. It's basically a 2% wage increase for the employees. And we're also gonna put a 1% towards the pension for next year. Some of it's tweaked a little bit, after speaking to some of the department heads. But for the most part, it's a 2%.
What do you mean it's tweaked?
Like, instead of it being, she asked me specifically about election workers. A
Okay.
2% would have been 23 cents. We bumped it up to 25 cents.
I know Dana doesn't.
I know.
Where Dana has an issue every year.
So it's
But
two,
it's not across the board, though. But I get it.
pass that down to Jason and him throw it to that guy. Thank you.
Oh, to Rick?
Just throw it at him. Thank you. Thank you, Jason.
Yep.
Why can't we just do 2% across the board? I know it's 2 cents, but on some people, if you round up 50 cents or whatever, it's,
Why can't we just do it how it's written?
Because when we say 2%, it's 2%.
It's-
but-
It's roughly 2%.
That's not what your motion says. I mean, I understand what you're trying to do.
I
Matt,
understand what you're
and I
trying to
don't
do
have a
too,
problem
but we
with
have
that.
other
That's-
people who are at 17 or 14.23, so if they're at 14, whatever, the two.
We can make it 2%.
It does
I have
say
no
2%. It says, give the fire department employees a 2% wage increase, which we would be doing, plus to approve the amended township wage schedule as presented. So the wage schedule as presented is pretty much a 2%, except for a few instances where it's been rounded up or down by a couple pennies.
Right, but that's also not what we discussed in our special meeting.
Oh, then how did I get roped into
I
this?
don't know. We said 2% across the board at our special meeting, I can tell you that.
Okay.
We did.
We never discussed that as a board ever.
Because I
Well,
know
and
sometimes
that-
when you've
and that
gotten
was
into
prior-
rounding, some
at
have
that
been more
point-
than
At
just
that
a
point, I
penny here or
hadn't
there.
talked to department heads either, and I didn't have anything to present at our discussion, so to me, it was pretty much 2%, but I don't think exact to the penny.
Well, yeah, but it depends on how you round. Did you round up 25 cents on some people, or is it 2 cents, or is it
And we rounded
50
down.
cents, which can be, or did you round down by 25 cents on somebody, so they're 2% way off? I'm just saying, it's,
It's only like pennies, Dana. What else? Let's see, there was something else. I think the, referees. OTV may have been rounded a little bit.
The OTV got more than 2% increase. They make $9.45 an hour right now, currently.
OTV makes 9.45.
For minimum wage, they're still at minimum wage.
Okay.
Wait,
But the
where's,
post-high school.
where are you reading?
that was-
So
that
they
was-
just stay at minimum wage.
It's on the back.
Right, and minimum wage goes up to
yeah, that
9.65.
increases.
That you can't help, I mean, that's different,
Right.
because you gotta follow minimum wage.
Yeah, so that's not
Well,
exactly 2%.
you can't help that, you have to follow the minimum wage increase. Because you can't pay someone less than minimum wage.
Correct, but we said exactly 2%.
Okay, forget
I
it,
mean-
it doesn't matter. I just don't like playing the game of, we're gonna say 2%, but some people are gonna get more and some people might get less, because we're gonna round. Why do you have to round? You have to round if you're at like 0.975, yes, you have to round. You round. But I don't see why you have to round up to even amounts. You wouldn't be the happy employee if yours went down or less than 2%.
Well, okay, so with the seasonal employees, they're not getting paid right now. They will get paid as seasonal employees when that comes, and it's easier to tell them, you know, you get $14.25 a game instead of $14.23.5 a game. It's just,
That's fine, but you need to bring us the stuff the way you want it, not the way you're gonna change it after the fact to what we already agreed on.
I didn't have this ready for our
All right, then we should have
discussion
talked
meeting.
about it then.
And just change it.
I mean, and I'm not opposed to giving our employees a raise at all, but I hate when stuff like this happens.
All of our full-time employees and our part-time employees will get a 2%, exactly 2% raise.
Okay, so
So
last year,
what we're looking at is seasonal, temporary employees that don't work here all the time, and that, those wages have been adjusted by the pennies. So all our full-time and part-time staff will get a 2% increase. All of the senior van drivers will get and the township appraiser, all of the salaried people will get a 2% increase.
So actually, the election workers got no increase on this. This is what they currently make for 19.
You're looking at this is last year, this
Oh.
is what we're voting on.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
Okay.
This is
So
how
we-
you can compare, because
So we
one's one
gave
and
them
one's the other.
50,
We gave them 25
25
cents
cent increase.
versus
Election
23.
workers.
Election workers only work the day of the election.
Gotcha.
This year, one day.
Yeah,
Next
so they
year,
only
3
worked 1 day
days.
this year, and they're gonna get a
3 days next year.
25
I'm
cent
I'm
increase.
fine if we make it 2% and reduce them 2 cents. I'm fine with that. I don't care.
I mean, I remember
Let's
having
just-
the same discussion last time I was on the board,
Yeah,
over this 2%.
I think
don't
we do
know
it
why
every year.
keeps happening.
it's getting
Because
old.
they want to round. But then that's not giving people 2% when you
Correct.
round up or down away from it. And I don't mind if you want to say everybody, I don't know. It's just you don't say we're giving you 2%, but then other people got more or less. Whatever.
So if we want it to be 2% and we vote on it, and then we make it 2%.
Right, then you just
Across the
adjust
board.
this to that.
Or we vote on this and pass it as is. Is that our choices?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, yeah. Okay, so.
I got an
It's
election tomorrow morning.
They need to be paid.
And what are we gonna do about the
They are
minimum
gonna be
Need to
wage?
go home.
Well,
The minimum wage is no question.
I know, but are we
Not
gonna
even- I
add
don't-
2% to
No, you
minimum
can't.
wage?
no.
No.
That's, we don't have control over what the state sets minimum
But
wage
if
at.
we're gonna do a 2% to everybody, then we have to give them a 2% increase over
No, you
minimum wage.
can't.
Well, then that's not a 2%
That's set by the
increase.
state. That's not set by us. We didn't create their wage.
But you wanna go 2% across the board, you have to do that
You're just
too.
trying to change it to say what you want it to say, but that's not the way it works.
Well, they're already getting more than 2% because minimum wage is raising more than 2%.
And we don't set minimum
But
wage.
in our policy, it says they get minimum wage. It doesn't say what that amount is, and if we do 2% across the board, they should have minimum wage plus 2%.
They shouldn't. Because minimum wage is minimum wage.
But then, that's fine, we can make an exception for them, and that's how it's
Not an
written now.
exception, that's reality.
Be exception to 2%.
They're getting a 2%, more than 2% increase with the minimum wage increase, is what I'm saying.
Okay, come on.
And we can't give them less.
Let's,
So we either have to go with the motion as written, or we have to go with 2% except for the minimum wage OTV workers.
The OTV workers just states that, because this doesn't go into effect until January 1st, correct?
Correct.
So at January 1st, their wage is increasing more than 2% by minimum wage requirements. So they are getting a 2% increase.
They're getting over a 2% increase.
Well, they have to because
Right,
they
but
have
that's
to
set
get
by the
paid
state,
minimum
not the
wage.
township.
There's other temporary minimum wage employees on here other than OTV. I'll make a motion that we give everyone a 2% increase with the temporary minimum wage employees exempted.
And the OTV minimum wage.
They are,
Anybody that's minimum wage.
any minimum wage employee.
I'll support
no
that.
matter what department they're in.
Accept it.
I supported it.
Should it read and then also one, or do we do the 1% separate?
The what?
The motion for the 1% towards pension, is that a separate motion?
Well, you can ask Candy if she wants to amend her motion. to
Well, that's
include
actually
that.
not in this motion, so I'm asking, is that a separate part? If we needed to make that vote too tonight. But let's finish this and then I'll ask that question.
Well, you could just make that motion after this one's passed.
Yeah.
When do we ask some questions about any of this?
You can ask them
Right
right
now.
now.
Who supported
Well,
the
there's
motion?
a vote on the board, right?
Was it Rumble?
Yeah,
Oh, it's been
Did
seconded.
anyone, oh, yeah.
Jason
Yeah,
seconded.
let's vote on that, and then
Okay.
I'll ask a question.
No, you gotta ask
should
your
ask
question
it.
before you vote.
Okay. I'm just looking at this, and for you recreation, people that are on the whatever, the recreation board or whatever it is, I'm looking at this, and the recreation site director makes half, and in some cases, a third, and in some cases, a quarter of what the people that report to him make? Is that what I'm reading here? I mean, how the people that report to him are making 4 times as much as he's making? Or she's making? How can that be? I mean, that doesn't sound right to me. I certainly wouldn't do the job if somebody was making $50 an hour and I'm making $14 an hour.
Are you talking about the state certified umpires?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm talking about the rec certified
Well,
umpires.
those referees aren't reporting to the site director.
Who do they report to?
The
Right, I
program
guess.
director.
How do they get scheduled?
Fred hires them through the state.
Yeah.
Okay, but who schedules them for their games?
And so we have to make an exception on that because we have to go with whatever the state
Well, I don't,
says we have to pay them, because they
Right.
have a wage that they
Because they
come
have a
in.
wage scale.
We can't, we
Yep.
can't amend their wage either.
Okay, I tell you what, I'm just gonna make that point, and I'm just gonna like let it go, but to me, that just sounds like, that doesn't,
so you just exclude any wages that are set by the state?
ex-
That are covered by wages set by the state.
the boss makes it.
Which is part of the minimum wage.
Correct.
That might be a better statement instead of saying except minimum wage, you say except for
Just say
wages,
excluding minimum wages set by the state.
excluding wages set by the state, which is 1 minimum wage and 2 these state certified baseball umps.
Andy, are you okay with that?
Yes.
I'm okay with the seconding that.
Okay, now this is what I have. To give fire department employees a 2% wage increase beginning January 1st, 2020, and to approve the amended township wage schedule with a 2% wage increase for, wage increase excluding wages set by the state. Beginning January 1st, 2020. Is that correct?
Is that,
Well,
Does
you're
that
not
exclude-
approving the attached wage scale because that's not correct.
no,
Well, I took out as presented. So it's to approve the amended township wage schedule with a 2% wage increase
Okay.
excluding wages set by the state.
That's fine with me. Well, it's Candy's motion, so that's up to
yeah,
her.
that's fine.
Okay.
It does not include any minimum wage employees.
Any wages set by the state, which includes
Right,
all minimum
yep,
wage. yes.
perfect, yep.
And
Same thing.
state referees.
Right.
Okay. That motion is by Clerk Allen and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble. Are there any other questions on this? Okay. So again, the motion reads to give the fire department employees a 2% wage increase beginning January 1st, 2020, and to approve the amended township wage schedule with a 2% wage increase excluding wages set by the state, beginning January 1st, 2020. Okay, roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Thurman.
I'm gonna vote no because there are department heads that I've spoken to that I don't know if are in favor of this or not, but it's gonna pass anyways. So the motion carries 4-1. Okay. So now we move to our 2020 budget.
Did we need, though, a motion about the 1%
Yes, for the pension.
for the pension? That wasn't in there, but it
Yes,
was
we
mentioned,
do.
it was
Okay,
mentioned
would
above, but it
someone like
wasn't
to-
part of that
Do you wanna make the
motion.
motion to improve, increase the pension by 1%?
Yes, and that's for all employees, including fire department.
All eligible employees.
Okay, however, yes.
Just
All
letting you
employees who
know.
are in the pension, obviously.
I'll second it.
Can we add that on, even though it wasn't on this packet?
No, we can make a second motion.
Okay,
It's
because it was mentioned in the increase section.
I think it's better to have two.
And you seconded, Jason?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to increase the pension contribution by 1% for eligible employees. In 2020, increase the pension contribution in 2020 by 1% for eligible employees, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Not my motion though, Dana, you.
Yes.
Yes.
So again, that is to increase the pension contribution in 2020 by 1% for eligible employees. Okay, and that motion is by DePalma, seconded by Rumble.
Yes.
Any discussion?
Yeah, fiscal year for the township is what, January?
Calendar year.
December
Calendar.
31.
Very good.
Any other questions? Okay, so let's go ahead and vote on that with a roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Now we can move on to our 2020 budget and the Appropriations Act of fiscal year 2020 for the Charter Township of Brandon. This is a resolution to establish a General Appropriations Act for Brandon Township to define the powers and duties of the Brandon Township officers in relation to the administration of the budget, and to provide remedies for refusal or neglect to comply with the requirements of this resolution. The Board of Trustees of Brandon Charter Township resolves, Section 1, title, "This resolution shall be known as the Brandon Charter Township Appropriations Act." And I'm sure everybody doesn't want me to read this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Nope, sure don't.
So it's in front of you.
Read everything.
And I usually read it every year, but you can see what all the revenues and the expenditures are. The only thing is, we will want to amend the the wages that are included in this.
To what we approved tonight.
So we'll have to approve this as amended.
Which will adjust things, just slightly, right?
Yes.
To include So we want to include the wage scale that was just voted in.
Correct.
And that means, you know, I mean, there's some people are gonna be getting like, 20 cents more.
No.
Less.
Less? Not for the trustees? Just making the point. No big deal.
Well, all these numbers have to be adjusted. What do you mean?
The
You're gonna
trustees' wage increase was 20%.
2%.
2%.
Oh, sorry, 2%. No, 20%.
Wait, no.
2% of 102 is what?
If you round it off to the penny, it's
Well,
$2.
Okay, Kathy, I have an example here. No, I have an example here on one of these, Kathy. The way you rounded, they would have only gotten a 1.5% increase, and that's way different than a 2% increase, and that's why I say we shouldn't round.
That's for the first year, and then if you go up higher years, it changes.
No, this was
The
for
percentage
year
changes.
3 senior van driver. If we had a 3-year senior van driver, their increase only turned out to be 1.5% because of your rounding.
Go to the first year senior van driver, and right now we have no senior van driver.
It doesn't matter. The point is that on the wage scale, then, it wasn't 2%. It was 1.5 for somebody,
Can I make a motion
that employee.
Yes.
to approve the 2020 General Appropriations Act as amended?
To
Include the
wage
wages
scale
that,
that was just voted in.
correct. That's my motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Candy.
Any other questions on the Appropriations Act? It's the same as last year, pretty much. Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble to approve the Charter Township of Brandon General Appropriations Act for fiscal year 2020 as amended to include the wage scale that was just voted in. Correct? Okay, any questions? Roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That was easy. All right, so now we are going to go to the CDBG program 2020 and 2021.
So,
Do you want me to save you trouble and make your motion for you?
oh, that would be awesome.
I'll make your motion as presented.
Who would like to second?
I'll support it.
Can I just say that? Can I just say that typically we do give money for emergency services in this community, and they wanted to opt out for 1 year. So they did not even give me a letter or come. They were gonna come and tell you, thank you for all the support over all the years. They would like to take a year off and have that funding go to youth in our community.
That's great.
Yes, so it's a win-win for everybody. So we got to increase.
For EGUA.
And
Yes,
you gave us a revised copy, but it's
yes.
still for the same 3 things, right?
It is, but this year, the numbers changed. Everything in red is what changed. The title is no longer battered and abused spouses. It's services for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and or stalking. So I wanted to make sure that's the new title that they used, and they changed up the account numbers.
Okay.
Other than that, nothing else has changed. 30% of the grand total of the $27,726 can go to public services, and the balance cannot. So that's why you see such a large amount for housing, which we have not done in decades.
Hey Candy, just a question here. You say down there in line item 5, we have never contracted with Oakland County Mobile Home Minor Home Repairs.
Correct.
And yet, in the suggested motion, you say we're gonna allocate 19,000 to mobile home, minor home repairs.
They never offered it to mobile home. You had to own a actual house to get minor home repairs, which could help replace a furnace, put your roof on, do, and you have to be low, moderate income, and you have to qualify. Well, this is their first time to offer, our first time to go into the mobile home park and actually be able to help citizens. with
Because
minor-
we're getting the money from,
The block grant.
Community block grant, yeah.
okay, that's all
And
I'm
then,
asking.
and then also, after this
Because you
gets.
say that we never have
It's
done
only
it before, and I'm like,
30%.
okay, well,
Well, they never offered it, so I just,
they being OLHSA.
no.
Well, so what
CDBG.
happens, Chris, is after we approve this, then we award the money to specific groups, correct?
Yes.
At a later date.
Okay, what does OLHSA stand for?
OLSHA. It's Oakland, Livingston,
Housing,
Human
human, yeah.
Services Agency.
Got it.
Nailed it, man. Housing Services Agency.
I apologize.
No, I just was wondering, it's like, okay, you say that we never did it before, and all of a sudden we're doing it because we got the funds. It's like, who is this group? Is it a county group? Obviously it is.
Well, they'll actually handle all the funding. They handle the applications, the actual hands-on to make sure everything's done properly and the money's spent wisely.
Okay.
So it's actually less work for the clerk in the Brandon Township.
Oh, so they administer everything.
They do everything. They also do that for the services. No,
Right.
CDBG
Oh.
and OLSHA
But-
take care of all
But
that.
at this time, we're not awarding
No.
to BGYA or OLSHA or anybody. We're just allocating the amount for the block grant into the
Okay.
different.
So in the past, some of the money has stayed for the senior center, but this year you didn't need anything.
Correct.
Or this coming year. And then in the past, some of it has gone to OSEF, but they're the ones who said they weren't gonna.
Yes.
Wow, I'm surprised, because I heard that they're down on food and stuff, but,
That's not true.
no, it's not?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they are definitely well off and they have to
That's
take a
good.
year off.
Okay. That's
So-
good, I'm glad to hear that, because I always thought they weren't doing as well
No,
with the
they're
food
doing
drives and stuff.
excellent.
Good.
Great.
I've talked to Karen twice about it. She was going to come and tell everybody thank you, but obviously something came up.
in charge of that program?
Karen Miller.
Yeah,
Yep.
just wondering. Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee DePalma to approve the program year 2020 Community Development Block Grant application as presented. Is that what it is?
There's a motion at the bottom of the page.
Oh, I'm
there.
sorry.
Yeah, it's at the
Then I-
bottom.
At the bottom of the page.
Second page.
Second page.
Second page.
One more.
You're on the
I
third
gave you
page.
lots of paperwork.
Well, I stapled an extra page.
Oh, it's after number 6 there. It says suggestion
Right
motion.
Oh. Okay. To approve resolution 313-19 and allocate $19,409 to mobile home minor home repairs, $4,817 to youth services, and $3,500 to public services, battered and abused spouses for the program year 2020. Is that correct?
Correct.
And if we
But
could
we need to
change the
change that name,
titles.
though.
Yeah, we need to change the names to match the resolution. So that would be as in,
Just of the battered and abused one.
yep.
Okay. So Lena, the motion's a little bit different.
Yep.
To approve resolution 313-19 and allocate $19,409 to mobile home minor home repairs, $4,817 to youth services, and $3,500 to services for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, and sexual assault or stalking.
Correct.
For the program year 2020. right, any other discussion?
I'm good.
All right, we need a roll call on this one.
Cordella,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. That concludes all of our new business tonight. So at this time, we will take citizen comments on anything. You've been waiting a long time. So,
Rick Gibbons on Sashbaugh Road, you all know me. Sat back there and I heard one of the stupidest arguments I've ever heard at one of these meetings. Over 2% pay raise. Is there a law where somebody on minimum wage can't get a 2% wage raise? If you're gonna hold her to 2% wage increase across the board, everybody gets it. If you're gonna let her say, okay, 2% more, or 2 cents more, fine. But you say 2% across the board, everybody gets it. Minimum wage, there's no law says that person doesn't deserve a raise. So you held her feet to the fire, there it is. Those people should get the raise too. Secondly, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, take the cement out on the sidewalks. It's cheaper than to take it up and repair it. It's not a genius decision, just take it out.
Absolutely correct.
okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment this evening? Yes, sir.
Thank you for the recognition with the CDBG money. Appreciate that. We definitely need to relook at our budget now. Wasn't quite estimating that much, but so now we got to rework that to make sure we cover it for 2020. But I do apologize because I was rushed through that and I did not recognition. We have board of directors here, Candy Allen, Jason Rumble, Shelby Stewart. We have volunteers, Steve Unruh and Scott Broughton, who are all members of that whole program I got the opportunity to spew out to you. So thanks again.
Bob, before you go, I had a question here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
This is citizen comment.
are you,
Wrap your gavel.
Chris,
I can't ask a question now? I thought I could ask a
this is
question.
citizens' comment. They're supposed to comment to us. And then at the end of the meeting, we will have time for you to comment. That's how it's set.
Okay, excuse me, Bob,
It's okay.
Thank you.
Forgive you this time, but I appreciate it.
I am duly out of order. Okay. Don't ask questions.
All right, is there
now.
anyone else that would like to make a comment this evening? Thank you all for staying with us. All right, at this time, we will do trustees, the board's comments. So go ahead. You can start us off.
All I wanted to know was, is there a department, is there a group that Bob heads up that is a formalized or a formal group that is recognized, or is Bob like the president of a
You're
group?
talking about the Brandon
Brandon
Groveland
Groveland
Youth
Youth
Assistance?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah.
That's
what
the
he
name of the group.
That's what he said.
Okay, so he's the top dog.
Yep.
Okay, and then there are other people that work for him?
Well, it's all volunteer.
There-
Wait.
We work
But,
for
yes.
him with no pay.
Yes.
I'm
You would
using the
like to
word, I'm
think
using the
so.
word word.
Yes, loosely.
Okay, very loosely here, okay? Now, the bottom line is, and then there are, obviously there's volunteers, they don't get paid.
None
Bob
of
isn't
them get
They're
paid.
all volunteers.
We're all volunteers.
And you know
Very
what?
good.
I bet after the meeting, Bob would like to talk to you and tell you all about it, and maybe even make you a volunteer.
Okay,
Okay?
very good.
All right.
Thank you.
Any comments from the clerk?
Just have a very safe ride home tonight and a happy Thanksgiving again. And we'll have results on the election on the door tomorrow night if you're interested.
On the door tomorrow night,
Oh, yes.
Okay.
the night of the election.
And then, as far as my comments, I just to make sure everybody knows, the building will be closed tomorrow except for elections. If you wanted to come in here and register to vote even.
And vote
and
tomorrow.
vote Tomorrow, you can.
If you are not registered.
But if you're coming here for municipal business, we are not open tomorrow. And everyone have a very safe Thanksgiving. Dana?
Happy Thanksgiving.
I got nothing else.
Okay. So who would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.